Welcome to Zero Wasted Convos. We're your hosts, Aisha.
And Fatin.
Today we're going to be talking about pop culture and its role in sustainability.
Yeah.
And we hope you guys enjoy this because we actually related to a lot of the stuff that appeared in our research. And we're going to be mentioning celebrities, movies, and we're also going to be mentioning things that are related to music.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys enjoy. And
Yeah, let's just start. Okay, do you know the movie Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
Have you watched it before?
I watched it before, but I can't directly recall the timeline or the plot of the movie.
Okay, so for the viewers who has not watched it yet, basically this movie is about these two scientists who figures out that a comet is about to hit Earth and millions of people would die. However, people as a society are careless and they don't care about these and they think this is not it doesn't influence me, you know what I mean?
Whole comet is going to hit the Earth and people are still acting as if it's a normal thing, or they just don't care.
They care more about the social aspects, as in celebrities and famous people, the rich life and stuff like that. So that's the main plot of the story, if you guys did not know that. So basically this whole main message behind it is that people tend to ignore all these scientific stuff and they only care like I said, they only care about celebrities and stuff like that.
And I feel like in this time and this age, I feel like people always care about celebrities though.
Yeah, no, honestly.
These days you're hearing about, what do you even hear about?
Oh my god, wait, have you seen I'm going off topic, but have you seen this? I've seen this on TikTok. You know the TikToker Alex Earl?
Alex Earl. I've heard of her, but I never went into detail about who she is.
Okay, but so basically she's some influencer or whatever, and she had this she was talking about some fashion trends she want to do or whatever, and then everyone was bashing her or something, and then she started wearing skinny jeans, and everyone was like, oh my god, Alex Earl's wearing skinny jeans, I'm gonna wear skinny jeans. So then people start following her and wear skinny jeans.
Why are people so caught up with celebrities? And I feel like these influencers, not to target anyone, obviously, but they could be doing so much more with their platform. If you can just put on a pair of skinny jeans, wake up, and people follow you, you could do so much if you talk about sustainability or the actual problems in the world. Then
that just talks about how we as people, as a society. But yeah, okay, so like you said, celebrities or influencers, people often follow or look up to them in a way. So then I feel like all these celebrities just don't know how to use their fame correctly. If you know what I mean. You can have half of Instagram, they have millions of followers, yet nobody, no influencer I've seen personally have ever posted anything about.
Yeah, and even if they do, it's also the gist of a trend, as in if they see other influencers posting about it, they do as well. And I feel like it shouldn't be that way, because if no one talks about it, then no one's gonna end up talking about it. So we need people to slowly start to talk about it, and everyone's gonna be talking about it as well.
Yeah. So also, okay, going back to the topic of the Don't Look Up movie, I found this one viewer's feedback who said, we're not watching this movie, we're all in it. Whether it's a comet or climate change or nuclear war or anything else, we're all being led to the edge of the cliff by individuals equally invested in their own micro-beliefs on social media, peddling at best fake information and at worst outlandish conspiracies. So this feedback, honestly, I like it so much because it's so true. Everyone is in their own little bubble, in their own little world, that they're not going out of that bubble to see what's actually going on in their earth, in the environment. So what do you think about this?
I mean, it is true. It relates a lot with what we just discussed, as in people look up to celebrities, but instead they're being arrogant about it. And I feel like an important element of Don't Look Up is the fact that people had power, but they just didn't use it properly. And I feel like as students, we have the abilities to start a podcast and talk about it. And I feel like that's such an important aspect of it. And I feel like that review just kind of covered everything about what we all think, but we just don't say.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing that we want to talk about is The Simpsons. So
Mm.
we all know The Simpsons. It's a very comedic series with like a bunch of episodes that all make people laugh. It's a
Yeah.
very joyful series. So for it to talk about climate change or
It's like
sustainability,
a
it's
harsh
like,
topic, I
yeah, it's a
feel.
bit of a harsh topic. So why is it being mentioned in a comedic series? And I think that's also a very important thing because even if it is a comedic series, I feel like the fact that they even addressed it, even in such like a subtle way,
Mhm.
it's a very amazing thing for them to do.
Yeah.
So basically, the episode name is the Trash of the Titans, season 9, episode 22. And basically, what this episode goes through is the fact that Homer is like at home and he
Mhm.
refuses to take out the trash, which is
Oh.
very it's very typical in media
Yeah.
these days for the dads like not want to take out the trash. And basically, his wife, forgive me, I forgot her name. Basically, she told him to take out the trash, but he didn't want to. So when he finally did, the trash man had actually like started going past their house already. So Homer starts chasing after the trash people and he starts insulting them and not apologizing, which is kind of
Oh.
ironic.
Yeah,
But
it's kind
anyways,
of your fault.
yeah. So then basically after that they refuse to pick up the trash. So then, they're like throughout the episode there's this build up of trash in front of their house. And some people might think, oh, this is just some type of comedic plotline, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, ha ha ha, Homer doesn't throw out the trash and now he has to face the consequences. But what they don't
Look at the
know,
deeper meaning.
exactly, it's like a whole metaphor for what we do. Because I feel like these days in society, we throw a lot of trash, we throw like a
Mhm.
lot of waste. There's a lot of things that go in our trash. Even like sometimes some people, when they don't finish food, they just throw it
Yeah.
away. And that contributes to a lot of the waste. And this basically, like, this episode basically emphasizes the fact that although what's it yeah our what's it garbage is collected at the end of the day, but at the end of the day it's also being, how do I say it, like accumulated somewhere else, meaning
Mhm.
that this trash doesn't just disappear once it goes into
Yeah,
that truck.
it goes in a wasteland.
Exactly. And like normally in society, like these wastelands, they aren't properly treated anyways. Like they just throw them into piles and piles. Like there's this one time, I don't know if you've like seen any of these like pictures online, but it's like literal like landfills and
Yeah,
they're
I've seen.
mountains of trash. And to think that,
That's crazy.
yeah, like no one mentions this and we have mountains of trash. We're supposed to have mountains of like nature,
Right?
not the other way around. And basically, like that's like the big what's it aspect of this episode.
Mhm.
It's talking about overconsumption, waste, pollution, and stuff like that. And also feedback from the watchers. A lot of people like this episode, and they talks about like the hidden meaning of it.
Yeah.
And it's glad to see that people actually understood the hidden meaning of the episode. So basically, this person says, uses a satire to point out the ridiculousness of our waste management system.
Mhm.
It's a perfect metaphor for how we are trying to avoid dealing with long term environmental issues. And I
That's such
feel,
a good
yeah,
comment.
like these people know what they're talking about.
Mhm.
And I feel like people should try to be more insightful about
Mm.
this type of stuff, especially when it comes to our climate and our environment and what is like affecting it. And another feedback from like the watchers was the episode nailed how society's quick fix mentality often leads to more environmental problems down the road. It's life they predicted the way we treated things like plastic. Just bury it and forget about it.
Mm.
And I feel like that doesn't just go for sustainability. It goes for everything in
Yeah.
general. You can't just bury something and
And it's
expect it to disappear.
yeah,
It's obviously going to grow into something, whether it's bad or good.
and
And
have like a long-term impact.
exactly. And although we are talking about it in a negative sense where like our negative traits could grow into something worse in the future, we
Mhm.
could talk about it in a positive sense. So for example, reducing carbon emissions, that will
Yeah.
help us so much in the future. And I mentioned like the other day about a climate clock and how it's at 4 years. So imagine we all like work to reduce our carbon emissions. We would increase that clock rather than making it go down. But what are we doing?
Making it go down.
Yeah, we're burying it. Okay.
Which is so similar to the episode, the way you described it.
Exactly. There's like a lot of relevancy to our society with these episodes and TV shows, and people always overlook this. Okay, So the next segment, which is this segment, we're going to be talking about like festivals or concerts or even songs, because we think that a very important element of society today is music.
Yeah.
We all listen to music, whether it's classical, rap, country. It covers all bases.
Anything.
And basically, one of the things that I want to cover is this very amazing song. Okay, but the thing is, people, when I say song, there's no one singing in it, but like it was made by the 1975. I don't know if you know that band. Whoops.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
this band, the 1975, they also are known for like songs called "About You." I don't know if you know that song. But basically, this specific song, the name is the 1975, and it's not named on Spotify. But if you search up the 1975 featuring Greta Thunberg, you can find this song.
Okay.
And I was inspired. Okay, when
Yeah.
I was researching, I had to pause and go to Rahima and be like, "Girl, what is going on with this research? It's so good." And some people might think I'm exaggerating, but guys,
Actually.
because the thing is with Greta Thunberg, people know her, but I don't know if they know her name. The thing is, people know her face because she's part of that one meme where she screams like, "How dare you?" And people made fun of her for that, but like, she's actually a very amazing individual.
Yeah.
Like, she fights for everyone's rights, and like, she fights for climate change especially. So this is exactly what the song like contains. So this is actually taken from one of her speeches, where the title of it is "Our House is on Fire," which is a very like, how to say, impactful title.
Yeah.
Our house is on fire.
Like really like right in your face.
Exactly. Like if your house was on fire, you start running out.
Right?
Exactly. So basically in this like speech, she talks about the climate and ecological crisis. And she talks about how ignoring it won't help, like we mentioned. And she basically talks about how the way that we ignore this type of stuff, it won't help us in the future at all. And it's actually better for us to recognize the mistakes that we made regarding climate change now, rather than in the future when we can't reverse any of it. And she basically also talks about how we can make change and turn things completely around if we do it now.
Yeah.
So she's really giving us
She is like
yeah, the pressure is on. We have a time limit and we need to work with it, but we're not. And she basically was highlighting how a lot of the like politicians in the world, like they have the power, they have the ability to actually like take up for like the accountability of not facing climate change, but they don't. They always lie to the media and say, "Oh, we're fine, we're doing fine, we're handling it." But are we? I mean, the climate clock is still going. Last time I heard, they never pause. And like even now, like I feel like if you just open up the news, I mean, how often have you seen lately floods or typhoons or hurricanes happening? It's so common now. And to think that 5 years ago,
barely
none of this was happening, and it's just really big to think about. And basically, I love these quotes from her. So basically, she says, "Nothing in life is black and white, but that is a lie. Either we prevent 1.5 Celsius of global warming or we don't. Either we prevent an irreversible chain of reaction beyond human control or we don't."
That's like a short and impactful, like kind
Exactly.
of comment.
And
Wow.
it put it in such a way where we understand, because people nowadays, you always say nothing is black and white.
Yeah.
But it is true in this case, where although climate change is like kind of a complex idea, as in like people always think, "Oh, carbon emissions, what is that? Greenhouse gases," like you think about it, it sounds complicated.
Yeah.
But to think that, I don't know, saving water when you shower, it's that simple.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's basically what she's trying to say. Like, it sounds complicated, but it's actually really simple. And that's what I love about her speech. And I literally went down a whole spiral about learning about her after this, because everything she says is inspirational, but it's also true. She doesn't say any of this for the sake of reputation or because it benefits her. It genuinely is true.
Yeah.
And basically, she also said that there are no gray areas when it comes to survival, which is so true. Because although like some people might say climate change does not affect them, it does. It's a whole around the world type of thing. It's global, and it happens to everyone.
Okay, so as I'm sure many of us have heard of the band Coldplay, right?
Yes, I love their songs.
I love them. But have you actually know that, like, did you actually know that they contributed a lot to the environment? or sustainability.
I did not know that.
So, okay, back in 2019, they, as a collective, they decided to not go on tours anymore until they figure out how to stop the climate change kind of thing.
Actually,
Yeah, but then, it took years, and then in 2021 they finally figured it out, and that's when they started their tour. So their tour was called the Spheres World Tour. So in this tour, they have managed to reduce 59% of carbon emissions.
59%.
Yeah,
That's
by
more than half.
reducing like airlines or
Whoa.
traveling kind of aspects. So they've also made they've made 86% of plant-based like LED like handbands. Have you seen
Yeah,
them?
yeah,
Like
I
those
have seen them.
things?
And then you have to return them at the
Yeah,
end,
and
right?
then you return them in the end, and like as their fans, they did dance. So
Yeah.
like that itself made like a huge contribution. But other than that, they planted a tree for every single individual who had like went to their concert. So far, like from what I've searched, they've planted over 7 million trees.
7 million.
Yeah, 7
and this
million.
is just the band.
Yeah.
It's not like they're actual climate activists or anything.
So this is like kind of goes back to that topic of influencers or celebrities who have their potential of because like they're a big band, like everyone knows them, I feel. If you don't know them, then
but like search it up.
Yeah, but like they're a huge band and they're making this kind of they're advocating for like sustainability, and many other fans follow after them. So they're actually using their platform really well, if you ask me.
59% of carbon emissions reduced.
Right?
Not even us as a society can like achieve that. That's actually amazing.
Right? And it's just them. Like imagine the big impact they made.
Exactly. So basically at their concert, I don't know if you saw, but they have these panels where people can like dance and jump and just basically do anything on these panels, and if they move on it, it creates energy for the concert.
That's so smart.
Exactly. And it's conserving so much energy. And concerts use a lot of energy, like for music, the screens, maybe even light effects. So it's a lot of energy being used. And the fact that they use a smarter
this shows that they have thought about it so well to actually like have a fun concert, but in a way like not affect the environment.
And it's like a way that their fans can even contribute to it as well. And also another thing is they also use these bikes where if you cycle on it and like it produces energy. So like if you're trying to like miss out on your gym session, I don't know, you can go to the concert.
You're being fit, listening to music, and contributing to
and
environment.
Watching Coldplay.
3 in 1, guys. Okay, so moving on in like celebrities. Do you know any celebrities who have actually contributed into the environment?
Yeah, so actually like some of the ones that we're gonna mention today, but not right now. We're gonna mention RAYE, Emma Watson. Surprisingly, Emma Watson, known for her role in Harry Potter, and
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Oh my goodness.
So, do you have anything to say about RAYE? First of all,
so RAYE basically, she's a very inspirational artist. She doesn't even just talk about sustainability. She's very adamant on talking about society's problems. There's this song, I don't remember what it was called. It was this one song, Genesis. Yes, it was Genesis. Basically, in this song, she highlights a lot of society's problems and like their unrealistic standards and everything just relevant to its problems, and she highlights the fact that we need to do something about it. And like there's just also one song where like RAYE talks about in like the environmental issues called environmentalist anxiety. I love the song. We also used it in our teaser, if you couldn't tell. And basically it talks about like melting ice caps, climate change, and everything related to sustainability and what we could face if we potentially don't uphold like the concept of sustainability. So what about Mark Ruffalo? So
Mark Ruffalo, actually, he has contributed in many like programs and stuff like that. I'm gonna read to you a few of the campaigns that he has worked in. So he has worked in Water Defense 350.org, Mark Ruffalo's Solar Schools, support for the Paris Climate Agreement, And this is just like only like a few of them, okay? So there's actually a lot.
It's a whole list.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just say one more, which is the Natural Resources Defense Council. So basically, Mark Ruffalo, as many of you guys know his role in the Hulk and
Yeah,
Avengers,
the very angry person,
right? He actually has spoken at numerous public campaigns, and he has done many public speakings.
So he's like a consistent activist.
Yeah, he has been doing this actually since 2014. So basically, it was in New York near his home or whatever, and they had this kind of fracking activism, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So ever since he heard about it, he was like, "Oh wait, this kind of sounds like, you know, a big problem to me." So then ever since then, like, he's been going to like campaigns trying to advocate for it. And yeah, so that's kind of sums up the kind of person he is, because not only he's a hero on screen, he's also a hero in real life.
Exactly.
You know, so that's kind of just like, that's just good. Because also, hold on, also on his Instagram, not only he does this for like the public eye or whatever, on his Instagram, there's like numerous videos of him posting about, you know, how to like prevent this, how to do this, and stuff like this. And like, I think he has like over millions of followers, right? Probably over like 20 million, I think.
And people can all see this.
Yeah, so he's actually using his platform really well, honestly. So yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that like he saw a problem and took charge of it, and I feel like a lot of people these days are very afraid of doing that, like because you know, you hear fracking, you don't know what that is. It's a very, how do I say it? Something that we don't know about. It's very unfamiliar to us. So the fact that he heard about it, learned about it, and took initiative, it's a very inspirational thing to do.
Many people are just afraid to do it just because, like, you know, they don't want to get involved in these kind of things. From what I know, like, many people just like, okay, it's not my problem. Like,
not my problem, but it actually is.
Right?
We've focused on catastrophic accidents when it comes to pollution, but the real story, the real crime, is not a mistake. International dumping of oil occurs on a much larger scale. Intentional harm is a much bigger threat that flies under the radar. This is the outlaw ocean.
Okay, so about Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. So this woman is actually very amazing. So apart from her very well-known role as Hermione in Harry Potter, she is actually a UN Women Goodwill Ambassador.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In UN, girl, United Nations. Wow. Okay, I was like, she's quiet about this. I'd be wearing a badge. Like I'd wear a sign on my head saying UN Goodwill Ambassador. That's how amazing this is.
I've never heard anything about her doing
these things. I feel like the main focus is in her role. But like, guys, UN Goodwill Ambassador. Look at that. Like, if I ever see her in real life, I'm gonna start clapping. Okay, so basically, she's very adamant on sustainability, and she has been like upholding a lot of like aspects of sustainability, including things in fashion. Now, this incredible woman here created a website in 2010 called Feel Good Style, and it basically like advertised products that are like safe and like organic and don't use like harmful like materials or ingredients and things that are sourced like ethically. So she's very top notch. a whole website, and like this website also had clothes that are sustainable. And actually back then she also worked with this brand called Helped People Tree, and it's like a trade fashion brand, and she designed a line of eco-friendly clothing. And that's so cool.
Wow.
On top of being an amazing actress, UN Goodwill Ambassador, launching your own website. Yes, like, girl, the United Nations, that's a huge thing. Right? Everyone knows about it. It's not something where it's like, what is the UN? It's the United Nations, and she's an ambassador. I'm trying to be like her. Okay, so then basically, this is like a quote from her, or like a statement from her. On the red carpet, we're often asked not what we are wearing, but who. It's as if the ideas behind the clothes, the label, the designer, the collection have more meaning than the garment itself, but there's something missing. There's a bigger story to be told about the conditions in which our clothes are made, the resources that have been used, and the impact they've had on communities.
Oh my god, that's honestly true though. Like
Yeah.
many people kind of just care about the brand name, or like, oh, where'd you get your clothes from?
Yeah, like, oh, is it Chanel? Is it Louis
Yeah.
Vuitton?
No, girl.
Yeah.
Like they rather like care about the brand name rather than like what's made of.
Yeah, like I feel like
Which
they're
is
very,
so true.
they're very good brands out there that use like amazing quality, like what's it, materials, but then
They're not well known
yeah,
just because you don't know this brand name, so why are you wearing it? Like that kind
yeah.
of way.
But yeah, that's
That's
all with Emma Watson.
She's amazing. I did not know
Exactly.
all that. I didn't know about the
UN
UN
good.
ambassador. Like, hello.
It's a very like huge thing, and I'm very proud of her. Don't know her
Yeah.
personally, but I'd
Very
like
proud.
to. I'd like to. So yeah. So that's all for today's episode.
Yeah.
We
I
hope you guys
hope-
enjoyed,
Yeah. And learn something from these
Exactly.
amazing individuals.
and we hope you're very proud of Emma Watson
And Mark Ruffalo and Ray.
and Greta Thunberg. We love all these people, and we hope you guys love them too, because they're actually very. They need a lot of respect. You know, the work that they do requires a lot of work,
Yeah.
patience, and the fact that they're still doing it to this day, amazing.
Even though like half of the people don't really listen, they're
Yeah.
still promoting it,
like I'd be really devastated if no one listened to me.
Right?
I'd give up after the first attempt. Sorry, but it's true. So for them to be talking about this, like Mark Ruffalo, since 2014,
Yeah.
medal to you, man. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Watch Don't Look Up.